What is the worst way someone's asked you to leave after sex? Asked if he could drive my car to the gas station to buy cigarettes, and when he came back he told me he left my keys in the car and it was running. He got up after morning sex and made breakfast just for himself, not for me. Go grab some Taco Bell. You can eat it on your way home. The second he came, he rolled over, grabbed his phone, and without even looking at me said, "Find your clothes. You know where the door is," and just laid there on his phone ignoring me while I gathered my clothes and left. He tried texting me a few days later because he was drunk and horny, so I told him, "You know where your hand is," and blocked him. An old friend invited me over for her famous beef stew. I got there, we fool around, had sex, then right after she handed me a Tupperware of the stew and said, "You got sex and stew, now please leave." Still not sure if that's the worst way I was kicked out or the best. We were dry humping, fully clothed, no hand stuff, and he came. After a couple seconds he asked me to leave cause he was tired. Then he walked me to the door with his cum pants. While dozing off, he gently tapped my shoulder, and said, "Maribel, you can't stay here. My name is not Maribel." He finished, got off me, started looking at pictures of other women on Instagram, and commenting on how much more attractive they were than me, and told me, "Oh yeah, you can go now." We were best friends for like 2 years up until that moment. A girl I was FWBs with rolled over while still naked, farted in my direction, and told me to lock the front door on my way out. She blew you away. He was gone with the wind. Met a girl on Tinder and we hit it off after speaking for 3 weeks or so. Went on a few dates and I really liked her. Think it was the third date, I spent the night at hers and we had sex for the first time. It had been 3 or 4 months since I last had sex, and I really fancied this girl, so naturally I finished in about 0.3 of a second. Pretty embarrassing. I stayed the night but ended up waking up early, like 6 or 7 a.m. and looked over and saw her wide awake, with that look of, "What have I done?" on her face. It felt really awkward, so I just said, "Do you want me to leave?" "Yes, please," she said, instantly. I awkwardly got dressed, said goodbye and drove home, miserable, thinking I'd blown it. She phoned me later that day wondering when we were seeing each other next. Turns out she had been desperate for a shit and was scared to go with me there, so made me leave at 6 a.m. We've been together 3.5 years now, engaged, and planning on getting married soon.